Look, today's a big day happening here in Palmerston North. It is International Women's Day, and it starts off right now in Te Manawa Museum there, and it's Wahine a Te Ao International Women's Day. They have a huge program lined up, and I'm going to bring you a little bit later on in the show Natalie from Te Manawa. We did a pre-record of her, and she'll let you know what's going on, but I'm looking at what they've got planned. It's a massive day. Starts right now, finishes 7:30. Check it out. You are listening to A Greenia with Carl Pearce on Access Manawatu 999 AM. If you are streaming in, you are streaming on accessmanawatu.co.nz. I have also in the studio right now Sam. He is a huge Doctor Who fan. How's it going, Sam?
It's going very good. What about yourself?
Fantastic, as you can tell. Brilliant. Hey, we're going to also talk about Doctor Who. It's the 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah, it is. 26th of November. I'm looking forward to it as well. It's one of those things you have to get to as a Doctor Who fan.
Yes, absolutely. So, and 50 years of Doctor Who. I've already said that when I was young, I watched Doctor Who. Jean Pertwee was the guy who I remember and I suppose I knew him, remember him the most because he used to be Wurzel Gummidge.
It's amazing how people remember what they remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay then, so we're going to play a little bit of music. And, of course, I don't think there's any need to play any disclaimers because I'm not actually talking about anything political. I love my disclaimer though, but I'm not going to play it today because I'm not talking about anything political. New Zealand music, as always, here on A Greenia with Carl Pearce, Access Manawatu. Okay, in the studio here we have Sam from 0800 Tardis. How's it going?
Going very good. So what are we starting off with?
Okay, so first of all, I called 0800 Tardis. It's an actual real phone number.
Oh yes, go through to my house and it plays Doctor Who hold music.
It does, and it doesn't just play Doctor Who hold music, but it plays, but it's like if, while you wait, you are first in line.
Oh, that's just a standard announcement. It's where do you place it in there as well? Because I think it comes a bit too early, but you know, it's one of those things that you have there, but it's a standard feature with the call software.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, very cool. I was like, oh well, fantastic. Okay, so number one, what is Doctor Who? Who is Doctor Who?
Well, Doctor Who is a Time Lord who is from the planet of Gallifrey. Now, when the series first launched in 1963, he was from another world, but no one knew what it was, and it wasn't released till about the second Doctor's Regeneration, just before he went to the third Doctor, that he was from the race of the Time Lords from a planet called Gallifrey, which, in the story, it's from the constellation of Castorbarus.
Which is...
Yeah, that's one that I'm not sure, but we're in the constellation of Sol in the same thing, and we're in that world we're known as Sol 3, not as Planet Earth.
Right, okay then. So, basically, one of the things that I think people get confused with is that they think that Doctor Who is in fact a human being, but he's not.
Well, in the TV series, he has always been a Time Lord, but in there was a it was a movie version where they had Peter Cushing play the Doctor. This was in the William Hartnell era, and it was a spin-off of two stories, and they were both Dalek related, because the Daleks, everyone who knows Doctor Who, that's the first thing you think of as the Daleks.
Yeah. They get themselves all excited.
Oh, yes. And so Peter Cushing played the Doctor, and he was a human called Doctor with his last name Who. But in this show, he's known as the Doctor, and he had no last name, nothing.
Oh, right.
So
okay,
it was just Doctor, because people go, and Doctor Who? And he'll go by an alias called Dr. John Smith, which was revealed I think it was when he was the second Doctor, but he commonly used it when he was the third Doctor.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but he's also used that name throughout history at some point.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to come back after these messages, and then we're going to spend a whole half hour talking about Doctor Who.
Disaster. It's
Losers. So we were just talking about, during the break there, a little bit about Doctor Who, and you're wanting 0800 TARDIS to be the official fan page for New Zealand. You told us a little bit about Doctor Who, how he got his name, which actually I think is quite a wee ways through. Did you say the second series? How we got it like near the end of his second series?
Oh, second Doctor.
Second Doctor.
Yeah, it was. It would have been about the sixth series by then.
Yeah,
yeah, that was.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it was one of those ones. Was how did they expand the show? Because originally the show was meant for 6 episodes.
Right. Yeah.
Now picture where we are 50 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
6 episodes to a 50-year cult is a bit of a mix. Yeah, and that was when he went by an alias John Smith, but that isn't his real name. So that was just how he went, so he was known on planet Earth.
Yeah. And of course he travels around the universe and the TARDIS.
Yes, which is bigger on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Now one of my favourite sayings, especially with women, is like their purses are like the TARDIS.
They fit so much, but they look so small. Yeah,
exactly. So there's a story about how it got stuck being
the police box. Yes, it was. Hearing from Verity Lambert, she was the original producer of the show, the first and only female producer for the show. She was 26 at the time, and she's basically it was they landed the TARDIS in 1963, and the norm then in London was the blue police box.
Right.
And then they found out the full budget and everything, and they couldn't afford to change what the TARDIS looked like, because originally the TARDIS wasn't meant to change its shape and look to blend into its surroundings.
Right, yes.
Which the Doctor's TARDIS didn't do, but if you saw the Master's TARDIS, which is an arch enemy of the Doctor, his TARDIS used to blend in to a lot of places, and it was at one point it was known as the Pyramid Pillar, or Roman Pillar, or something like that. Yeah. That was his TARDIS at one point. Yeah. So and there's a story. So that's the technical behind the scenes story. What's the circuit name?
No. The story, like the storyline story, as to why the TARDIS got stuck.
Because the chameleon circuit, which is the one that changes its shape and appearance, got stuck in the police box, and he really couldn't be bothered repairing it.
Right. Yep. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so 50 years, as you said, of Doctor Who. Of course, a lot of our listeners will remember someone along those lines. I think I told you that the one I remember growing up was Jean Pertwee, which actually, if you watch the New Zealand series or the time frame of when it was aired in New Zealand, and Wurzel Gummidge was the other one, because Jean Pertwee was Wurzel Gummidge.
Well, when it aired in New Zealand, we were about 4 or 5 years behind the UK.
Yeah.
Because John Pertwee was the first Doctor to go colour.
Right.
But when did New Zealand get colour TV? 1975, round about the end. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure, but that was when he was the first colour Doctor.
Right.
But if you go to the BBC archives, there is one episode stuck in black and white because they've lost all colour copies.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because Wurzel Gummidge, if I remember correctly, was even black and white.
I think that could have even been his show before or show after.
I think it was before.
Yeah, and because we were a bit behind on a lot of things from the UK, because that's where we got most of our TV programs from in the original days.
The original days. Fantastic. So, And then there's been a number of Doctor Who's ever since, of course. I mean, how many has there been?
We're up to number 11, which is Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to say thank you to William Hartnell, number 1 Doctor, who was the one. It was when he fell ill, because his regeneration was the only one that happened in the middle of a series. Every other regeneration happened at the end of a series or at the beginning of the following season. His one was it was because of health reasons he had to scale back on his work, and he suggested, since my character is an alien, why don't you make it when he's about to die, he turns into another person, and that's how it went from William Hartnell to Patrick Troughton.
Oh, okay.
But it's the only regeneration you sit there and look at. Okay, it's black and white when you see it, but his clothes change. Every other regeneration, just the body changes, and he's in the old Doctor's clothes, because every Doctor has their own unique costume.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. But they still have the sort of, I might be wrong here, but that kind of overcoat with the
when they try to the scarf.
The overcoat with the scarf kind of look.
That was mainly Tom Baker's era.
Okay,
Sylvester McCoy wore scarves, but it wasn't so noticeable.
Yeah.
But Tom Baker was the one who really made it big time with the scarf, and how the long scarf came about was the person who was meant to knitted it too long, and Tom Baker said, "No, make that my signature."
Yeah. Yes, the signature Doctor Who. Okay, so fantastic, and I'm going to play a little bit of music just to break it up, and then we'll come back with some more Doctor Who. Absolutely fantastic. Look, I've got to turn this on because this is the Sons of Zion coming along. Wait there. Fantastic. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the Phoenix Foundation. There we go. Sweet. So, finally caught up with that one, didn't I? The Phoenix Foundation. The name of that song is The Captain. Massive day going on today, of course, right now in the Square. International Women's Day Peace Parade is happening in the Square right now. That's exciting. They've got these massive marionettes going on at the moment, so that's going to be exciting to see. Circus Circus is going to be playing outside the front of Te Manawa from 1 p.m. when we get off, and there's heaps going on there until 7:30 tonight, and then of course, as I said, just in time for you to head on down to the Square, get a nice cosy seat for The Tempest is going to be playing Summer Shakespeare in the Square. In the middle of all that, down at Square Edge, there's going to be the opening of the Shakespearean painting by local artist Adam Dodd. He has a exhibition opening in Square Edge. That's opening at 5 o'clock, so in the middle of all that, there's the opening of an exhibition, Shakespeare exhibition in Square Edge. Fantastic. This year is the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. 0800 Tardis is, and Sam, who is in the studio, is he wants to make it the official New Zealand fan page. How's that coming along, Sam?
Well, the like numbers are coming up. I mean, we've hit in the studio today, I've seen it hit 350 likes on Facebook, which is our main target audience.
Yep.
Now, there is no official New Zealand Facebook page, so I'm trying to make it the official. I mean, at the moment it's not the official, but I want it to be the official, and I think the people who are, subscribe to it and like the page are also probably, want to look at it being the official New Zealand fan page, because we finally have taken over as Kiwis here, liking the page more than the United States, because I've got a lot of fans over there, but my target market is New Zealand.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, fantastic. Because we want fans, you see what I did there? Anyway, terrible. So, we're talking about Doctor Who. The other thing that I find interesting, and it's a little bit of the geek in me, is Doctor Who's the girls, his companions so to
What,
speak.
they're mainly female?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
And they're terribly cute. And you know they've got to be geeks because they're in Doctor Who. So,
Yes.
the companions, they're all human.
Not all.
Not all?
During the William Hartnell to John Pertwee era, they were all human. It would have been Tom Baker, which is when things started to change. I mean, he had his companion Romana, who was also a time lady, who was there. In real life, they got married and didn't last long. But yes, that was one of his companions that was from there. And then he had one from the planet Alzerius and E-Space, which was Adric, and they also had Nisa, who was from some other part in the world. Yeah, and that's when they started more going back to human companions, would have been the Peter Davison era.
Yeah.
I do think there was, I think there was one that wasn't from Earth, but started his journey in Earth. I think that was Mark Strickson, who played the character Turlo, he isn't from New Zealand, but we're going to claim him as one because he lives in New Zealand now, and this is where he calls home. Or, well, I don't know, things might have changed, but, you know, for a long time he's called New Zealand home, so we're going to claim it as our own.
And does he go along to any of the, like, Doctor Who conventions, or is he, like, out?
Well, he is. No, I've noticed
or
that.
Has he just come to New Zealand to just live?
I think he comes to New Zealand to live because of the thing, you know, not being, you know, because we're not like Hollywood, that we don't sit there and stalk the celebrities. We might say hello to them at the supermarket. But I know that coming up in April, this is where I'm going to. It's called Lords of Time, which is an unofficial Doctor Who convention, not run by the BBC. Now that's taking place at Dorothy Windsor Centre in Auckland on. Now I'll just check the dates here. I think it's the 13th of April.
If you want to know what the dates are, check out 0800 Tardis.
Yes,
Facebook.
Everything's on there, and I constantly remind all my fans about it. So that's what I'm going to. Now, he is going to be hosting the show. Also, at the same show that he'll be there, he'll have his former doctor, who he was with, Peter Davison.
Oh, okay.
We've also got Colin Baker, which is number 6. Got Sylvester McCoy, number 7, who also played in The Hobbit. That was pretty recent stuff. And we've got Paul McGann, who did the one-off movie special and done a lot of audio Doctor Who. So that's one that you'll be seeing if you come to Lords of Time in Auckland. You know.
So for an unofficial Doctor Who convention, actually there's quite a lot of people there who are actually from Doctor Who, so it could very easily be official, apart from the fact that BBC isn't running it.
Yes, and that's why it's not official, and it's mentioned in there, the convention is not affiliated with Doctor Who. Yeah, and one thing I'd like to mention here, also coming to New Zealand, is Nick Briggs, who's the current voices of the Daleks and the Cybermen, but there are 3 actors, Janet Fielding, Fraser Hines and John Leeson, who played in Doctor who are turning up to the 3 Australian Lords of Time events, which are happening in April, and we're in the middle of it, and they cannot make the 3-hour flight from Sydney to Auckland to do it. So if they're hearing this, and they, we want you in New Zealand, because, it's only a 3-hour flight. If you come all the way from the UK, it's not that far to travel.
No, well, it's just between cities in Australia, so...
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, a flight from Sydney to Perth's longer.
Well, exactly. Fantastic. And, of course, having so many interesting people that are going to be there anyway, who aren't just voices... But, and I suppose we were talking about the Daleks. See, I'm a little bit all over the place, but we were talking about the Daleks earlier on.
Daleks? Yeah, Daleks, yeah.
And they have one voice, but they used to have 3.
Yes, in the black and white days they had more than one voice in the Daleks, and I think it's the Supreme Dalek had a different voice, but most of, the servant Daleks or the ones below had the same voice, while now they've all got the same voice because it's the same person doing the voices for them.
Yeah. And one of the things, of course, people remember about the Daleks is that... they exterminate. And the problem is they say exterminate and get so excited about it, they blow themselves up.
Yeah, that has happened in some cases, but I think it was the thing that appealed to the audience. Terence Dicks, he was a writer for Doctor Who in the 60s. He also wrote the 20th anniversary as well episode. He said it was one of this, you're out of order, exterminate, gone. And it was the no-nonsense sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
It was something that really, it scared people, but it was attractive at the same time.
So what's with the if you happen to know, the sort of overexcitement that occurs with the Daleks?
Well, I mean, here's the thing is, if you sit there and look at them, think of it this way. They are pepper pots sitting there on wheels with a sink plunger, a ray gun out the side, but just some stick and an eyepiece on a stick that turns around. What's scary about that? But it was made, it's been made to look very scary, and the no-nonsense thing, you step out of line, you're exterminated.
Have there, just from your memory banks, because you're a massive fan, of course, because you are trying to start the official New Zealand fan page, but has there been any, when you see the Daleks, any outside shots of the Daleks doing anything? Because they don't seem to be an all-terrain kind of alien.
Well, it was originally, this is when they started, the Daleks used to operate by static electricity, and they had to run on a metal floor. Then they invented Dalekanium by their second time come around, so that's when they moved a bit more. It was 1987 when they could have flames underneath that they could float up the stairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's when that's coming. Now,
so as technology has moved, so have they.
The Daleks, and that part of it, but they still look very much the same from 1963 to now. I mean, they've had little bits of upgrades and that, but they are a lot of the same principle behind it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. Well, here's some more music, and then we will be right back with Sam here, who's in the studio, 0800 TARDIS, and of course Facebook page. What's the Facebook page?
It's also 0800 TARDIS, so it's just www.facebook.com/0800 TARDIS.
Fantastic, just in case you wanted. Here's The Exponents with Why Does Love Do This To Me? I love this song. Yes, that is the Dance Exponents. Well, actually, they're the Exponents, but they were first known as, I think, the Dance Exponents. Long time ago, What Does Love Do This To Me? We have Sam in the studio. 0800 TARDIS. Not only is that the name of the Facebook page, but that's the name of the phone number.
Yes, I know. What the coincidence. You can probably guess which one came first.
The phone number.
Of course,
there
yes.
Because the phone's been around longer than the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, but the phone number's been around longer than the page.
Yeah, there you go. Fantastic. Okay, so, you've got a couple of questions from the Facebook page there. Yes,
one of the viewers have sent in, will New Zealand be celebrating the 50th anniversary each month like overseas is? Well, on UK TV they are doing classic screening of episodes, but there is not, I haven't really seen, there is not much, apart from Lords of Time in Auckland, there is not much happening in New Zealand. What I'd like to see, and I mean, I'd like it if someone could come to the aid, such as Peter Jackson or someone who's a bit of a fan, is to have a special screening of the 50th anniversary down in Wellington, because it's a nice central place of New Zealand, and get everyone out of Auckland. And hopefully we could get a, screening of the 50th anniversary, and I heard they're filming it in 3D. So, if we could get that in 3D, that would just be awesome.
That would be scary, is what that would be. Yeah, with the Daleks and
the eye coming out of the screen.
Coming out of the screen, yeah, that would be pretty full on, I think. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so, if people want to get involved, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, you can ring me from a landline at 0800 TARDIS, that's 0800 827 347, or you can also find us on our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/0800 TARDIS. It's probably the easiest way would be to get me online, because I'm not always home, and the one thing is that's where the 0800 number goes to at the moment, and I'm going to leave it like that, otherwise it's going to balloon out in costs.
Of course. Okay, and you just said while we were on air, you had a milestone?
Yes, we've hit 350 likes, which is probably up from when we started. Like when we started the page at the end of December last year, we would have been on one, which was me, and grew from there. But yes, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, we've had a rapid increase, but
Fantastic.
that's making our awareness in New Zealand.
Absolutely. And Australasia maybe as well.
Well, Australia is the next target, because that is, our cousins across the ditch.
Absolutely. And I was looking on Facebook for 50th anniversary. Not many 50th anniversary fan pages.
Well, there are some, but there are none New Zealand based. And the aim of this page is from the New Zealand perspective for us, because we are the listeners. We are the viewers, so we want to have it, to our needs.
Fantastic. Okay, so while you are on my page, carl.com, all Ks, or of course Access Manawa 2 Facebook page, where everything you want to know, Access Manawa 2 is happening there, then it's just a small jump to find 0800 Tardis there. Okay, well, this comes to the end of my show. Thank you all very much for listening. Until next time, be kind to one another and yourself. Peace out.